Michael Turner was known as the poorest man in his neighborhood for over 30 years. He worked as a mechanic in a small repair shop on the edge of town. His clothes were always old. His shoes were worn out, and he drove a rusty pickup truck that seemed ready to fall apart at any moment. People often whispered about him. Why doesn't he buy better clothes? Why does he still drive that old truck? Hasn't he worked his whole life? Even his own son, Ryan, sometimes wondered the same thing. Ryan loved his father, but he couldn't understand why they always struggled financially. While other families went on vacations and bought new things, Michael always said the same words: "Save today so tomorrow can be better." Ryan grew up believing his father was simply unlucky. Years passed. Ryan worked hard in school and dreamed of attending a top university. But when the acceptance letter finally arrived, there was one huge problem. The tuition was far beyond what they could afford. Ryan looked at his father and sadly said, "Dad, maybe I should forget about college and get a job instead." Michael immediately shook his head. "No, son, your dream is bigger than this obstacle." A week later, Michael handed Ryan a check covering the entire first year of tuition. Ryan was shocked. "Dad, where did this money come from?" Michael simply smiled. "Don't worry about that. Just study hard." Ryan graduated with honors and eventually built a successful career. Life became busy. He moved to another city, got married, and started his own family. Although he loved his father, they didn't see each other as often as before. Then one winter morning, Ryan received a phone call that changed everything. Michael had passed away peacefully in his sleep. The loss hit Ryan like a storm. At the funeral, friends and neighbors shared stories about his father's kindness, honesty, and hard work. But Ryan still felt there were things he never truly understood about the man who had raised him. A few days later, he began sorting through his father's belongings. Inside an old wooden cabinet, he found a small metal box. There was a note attached to it. It read, "For Ryan, open after I'm gone." With trembling hands, Ryan opened the box. Inside were hundreds of bank deposit receipts, dating back more than 30 years. Every week, without fail, Michael had deposited a small amount of money, $5, $10, $20, whatever he could afford. Ryan stared at the receipts in disbelief. Then he found another envelope. Inside was a letter written by his father. The letter said, "My dear son, if you're reading this, I am no longer with you. You probably spent your life wondering why I never bought new clothes, a new truck, or a bigger house. The truth is, every dollar I saved had a purpose. While other people were spending money on themselves, I was investing in the future I dreamed of for you." Tears filled Ryan's eyes. He continued reading. "There were many nights when I wanted to buy something for myself, but every time I looked at you, I remembered what mattered most. I didn't want to leave you wealth. I wanted to give you opportunity." Ryan could barely see the page through his tears. Then he reached the final paragraph. "There is one more thing you should know. The account isn't empty." Confused, Ryan looked back into the box. There was one final document. It showed the balance of a savings account. Over the decades, Michael had quietly saved and invested enough money to leave behind more than $500,000. Ryan froze. His father had lived like a poor man for most of his life, yet he had secretly built a fortune, not for himself, for his son. At that moment, Ryan finally understood. His father wasn't poor. He was rich in a way few people ever become. He had spent his entire life turning his own sacrifices into his son's opportunities. Through tears, Ryan held the letter against his chest and whispered, "Thank you, Dad. Now I understand. Because the greatest inheritance isn't money. It's the love hidden behind every sacrifice a parent makes."